Good day everyone. Today we are going to do activity 3 as part of our revision activities in the start of this lockdown. Let's go through the question. So revision activity: record cash transactions in the cash received journal and cash payment journal. Question: you are required to do the following in the books of SA Traders for June 2016. Complete the cash receipts journal. Cash Receipts Journal 1 for June 2016. Provide analysis columns for analysis of receipts, bank sales, cost of sales, and sundry accounts. Close off the journal at the end of the month. Complete the Cash Payments Journal CPJ 1 for June 2016 and post the Cash Received Journal and the Cash Payment Journal to the General Ledger and balance the accounts at the end of the month. Prepare a trial balance on 30 June 2016. Very importantly, the business uses a profit markup of 50% on cost. Essentially, this means that your selling price will be 150%. How did I get to this? Cost price is always 100%. Selling price is your cost price plus your profit margin. We know cost price is always 100. In this case, profit margin is 50. The two together, 150% selling price. Transactions for June 2016. Okay, let's start. So on the 1st of June 2016, the owner, Redebi, deposit 320,000 Rand directly into the business current bank account as his capital contribution. Issue receipt 001. Right, so we received money. Remember, we're always looking at this from the business perspective. The owner has his own set of books. We're not doing that now. We're always looking at it from the business perspective. Let's go and record that in the correct journal. Cash Receipts Journal. Right, so our document is receipt 001. It took place on the 1st, and the details. Who did we receive this money from? Okay, Radebi. Failure is going to stay empty for now. Remember, it was a direct bank deposit, so we didn't have an opportunity to analyze it first. It was paid directly into our bank account. 320,000 Rand. Did we receive this money because of sales? No. Did we receive of cost of sales? No. We need to put it in our sundry accounts. 320,000 Rand. And the reason is capital. That's why we put it in our sundry accounts. Right, so the transaction on the 1st, the owner Radebi deposits 320,000 Rand directly into the business current bank account. Directly, that's very important. Okay, and then bank as his capital contribution, and then required to issue receipt 001. It's going to put that into our cash receipts journal. So receipt 001, it took place on the 1st. From who did we receive the money? Radebi. Analysis of receipts is going to stay empty because it's a direct deposit. Whenever it's a direct deposit into our bank account, it will go straight to the bank column. Why did we receive the money? For capital, and that's why we put it in the sundry accounts. They did not provide a column here for capital. Okay, these are the accounts or transactions most often used in our business. Sundry accounts means other accounts, the ones not used that often. That's why we put them together here. And let's go to our second transaction that took place on the 3rd. Purchased a business property from Bow Traders and pay by check 001 180,000 Rand. So we paid money in this instance. So it is cash payment journal. Document will be check counter for 001. It took place on the 3rd. Name of payee. Who are we paying the money to? Bow Traders. and the amount that will be deducted from our bank account is 180,000 Rand, and the reason it's being deducted, in other words, what are we purchasing, will be land and building. They did not provide a column for the land and building account, therefore we need to take it to the sundry accounts. Land and building. Right, just quickly want to take bold off here, it's going to bother me. Right, next transaction took place on the 4th. Paid the City Council by check 002 for the trading license 1,800 Rand. Okay, cash payment journal, we are paying money. They did tell us it's check counterfoil 002. It took place on the 4th. Who are we paying? City Council. The amount that will be deducted from our bank account, 1,800 Rand. They did not provide a column for the trading license account, therefore sundry accounts. The accounts we don't use that often. Okay, so trading license. Right, next transactions. Next one took place on the 6th. Purchase merchandise from Vistar Traders for 8,400 and paid by check 003. We are paying money, therefore cash payment journal. So, check counterfoil 003. It took place on the 6th, and who did we pay? We bought something from Vistar Traders, and the amount we paid them was 8,400 Rand for trading stock. Remember, accounts we use more often. Trading stock is one of them. We're going to use this one a lot during the month. Okay, so for Vistar Traders, we bought trading stock. Next transaction. Next transaction took place also on the 6th. This is still on the 6th. Okay. So issue check 004 to MX Computers for the following: computer and printer of 12,800, paper for the printer 614. Very importantly, it's one check for 2 items. Okay, so it's going to be one line item, one amount being deducted from our bank account. Let me show you. Check counterfoil 004. This took place on the 6th. We're still on the same day, so I'm not going to write it again. So, who did we buy this from? MX Computers. The amount being deducted will be the 2 amounts together. If you add it up, you will get 13,440 Rand, of which 12,800 went for computers, which we are going to put in the equipment account. Okay, computers will form part of equipment in this business, and stationery of 640 Rand. Remember, accounts most often use stationery. Seems like this business buys a lot of stationery to operate. Right, next transaction took place on the 7th. Yes. Cash a cash check 005 for the following. Once again, one check for 2 items or 2 purposes: wages and cash float. This together 1,960. This 2 together will form one payment in my, or one check in my cash payment journal. Right, so this will be check counterfoil 005. It took place on the 7th. We didn't pay any specific person or place that they gave us a name, so therefore we are allowed to use cash. And the total amount together 1,960 Rand, of which 1,460 went for wages and 500 Rand went into our cash float. Remember, cash float, it's the account where we get change for our customers if they were to pay cash. Okay. Right, so next transaction took place on the 8th. Cash sales according to cash register rule 18,600. Okay, so they did not give us the cost price. We need to calculate it, and early in the information they gave us 50% on profit. Okay, so we will have to go and calculate this. I'm going to do it in brackets next to the transaction so you understand how I get to the amount. I'm going to use 18,600. Remember, that's my selling price. I'm going to divide by my selling price percentage. I told you when we went through the information of this activity, selling price will be 150%. I got this by adding cost price percentage, which is always 100, and to the profit margin of this business, which is in this case 50%. Okay, and then I'm going to multiply by cost price percentage because that's what I want. I want my cost price, and I will get an answer. Let me quickly calculate. I'll tell you just now. You will get an answer of 12,400 Rand. That's my cost price. Okay, let's go and record this correctly. We received money now because we had sales. So cash register roll. This took place on the 8th. Details will be sales. We will analyze what we receive because it's not a direct deposit or payment into our bank account. It comes through our business. First, we get the opportunity to analyze 18,600. Okay. And then we will put it into our bank account. 18,600. Sales was 18,600, and cost of the sales we already calculated 12,400. In other words, we had sales 18,600. Cost of sales, remember, we bought the trading stock for 12,400 and we sold it for 18,600. Bank will be debited, sales will be credited, cost of sales will be debited, and trading stock will be credited. Always like that when you have cash sales. Next transaction took place on the 10th. It was decided to advertise in the local newspaper. Issue check 006 for 2,300 Rand to the Oggendblad for advertisements for the following week. So we are paying money. We need to go to the cash payment journal. Check counterfoil 006. It took place on the 10th, if I remember correctly. Let's just quickly check. Yes, 10th. Who are we paying this money to? The Oggendblad. Oggendblad. We are paying them 2,300 Rand. Not for trading stock, not for wages, not for stationery. Therefore, we need to put it in our sundry accounts. Accounts not that often used. And the account will be advertisement. Okay. Advertising is maybe better. There we go. Okay, next transaction. Alright, took place on the 13th. Purchase good from Samson Traders and pay by check 007. 21,400. Okay, goods, trading stock. They use a few different words which means the same thing. It's normally goods, merchandise, trading stock, and then one or other words which I can't remember now, but it all comes down, will go to your trading stock. Okay, 21,400. We are paying money, so I need to go to my CPJ, cash payment journal, check counterfoil 007. Took place on the 13th, and we are paying money to Samson Traders. And we are paying them 21,400 Rand for trading stock. 21,400. Okay. We are done with that transaction. Let's go to our next one. It took place on the 14th. Cash check 008 for wages 1,460 Rand. We are paying money again. So check counter for 008 because the previous one is 007. It took place on the 14th. They did not give us a name to we are paying this money to, therefore we can use cash as our details. The amount that we are paying is 1,460 Rand and the reason is wages. There we go. Right, next transaction took place on the 15th. Cash sales according to the cash register rule, 9,900. We need to calculate cost price again. So 9,900 Rand divide by my selling price percentage of 150% and multiply by my cost price percentage because that's what I need. That should equal, let me just quickly calculate it. That should equal 6,600 Rand. There's my cost price. Okay, let's go and account for this in my cash received journal because I received cash. Okay, cash register roll will be my document. This took place on the 15th. The details will be sales. The reason it is sales because that's my cash register roll. I sold it to a bunch of people and I can't put all of their names in here. Okay. The amount of this sales was 9,900. Done for the day. Or not yet. If you go back here, if you look at the 15th, there's 2 transactions in one day. Okay, so we will take the money to the bank at the end of the day. Therefore, bank will stay empty for now. Sales is 9,900. Cost of sales, we calculated it to be 6,600. Done with that transaction. Let's have a look at the second transaction on the 15th. It was decided to rent out a section of the building, issued receipt 002 to K Selepe for 2,800. The reason we do this, in most cases we rent a building, it is too big for us and there's a space that's not being used, therefore we rent it out to someone else. Okay, let's go and fill that in. We received money. Okay, so receipt 002 because the previous receipt is 001. It also took place on the 15th, therefore I'm going to leave the date open. And then who did we receive this money from? K Selepe. Did I spell it right? Yes. And then the amount that we received from K Selepe was 2,800. Now we are done with the 15th, so I will take it, or it will reflect at the end of the day in my bank account, and the total of the two, these two together, will equal 12,700 Rand. Okay, why did I receive this 2,800 for rent income? So they did not provide a column for rent income. I need to take it to sundry account, 2,800 Rand. Very important to say rent income. Need to be specific because you get rent expense as well. Okay, next one. Done with the 15th. Next one, 17th. Pay Petunia Florist 200 Rand by check to have flowers delivered to the owner's wife. That sounds personal to me. What do you think? Okay. If it's personal, it is drawing. So check counterful 009 took place on the 17th. So let's fill that in. 17th. Who did we pay this money to? Petunia Florist, and the amount we paid them was 200 Rand. Petunia. And that did not look right, but there it's fixed. 200 Rand. Okay, why did we, or for what reason did we pay them 200 Rand? Not for trading stock, not for wages, not for stationery, therefore other transactions or other accounts, 200 Rand. And the account it will go to is drawings, okay, because it's personal. Right, next transaction took place on the 21st. Purchase pens, pencils and receipt books from NSA for 384 Rand and pay by check 010. So pens, pencils and receipt books will all fall under stationery, so we don't have to go and split it up. Right, so check counterfoil 010. It took place on the 21st. Who did we pay? We paid NSA, and the amount we paid them was 384 Rand for stationery. 384 Rand. There we go. Right, next transaction took place on the 23rd. Pay the monthly telephone account to Telkom and pay by check 011. Amount was 1,520 Rand. Let's go to the cash payment journal. Check counterfoil 011. This took place on the 23rd and we are paying money to Telkom. The amount we are paying them is 1,520 Rand, and that's for the telephone bill. They did not provide a column for the telephone account, and therefore we go and put it in our sundry account. Telephone. Very importantly, this is not the actual phone, it's just the bill. This is an expense. The actual phone will be an asset. You can resell it at a later stage. Always important to separate between the two, or know the difference between the two. Right, next transaction took place on the 24th. Cash check for wages. Let's go and fill it in. We paid money. So check counterfoil 012. It took place on the 24th. They did not give us a name to who we are paying this money. Therefore cash. And the amount will be 1,280 Rand. It is for wages. 1,280 Rand. Next transaction took place on the 26th. Cash sales of merchandise 15,000 Rand. Okay, so cash sales. First of all, I forgot, we need to calculate cost price. 15,000 Rand, divide by selling price percentage, multiply by my cost price percentage. That should equal, let me quickly calculate, that should equal 10,000 Rand. Okay, let's go and fill that in. Cash register roll. It took place on the 26th. It is sales, my details. The amount I sold was 15,000 Rand. Will reflect in my bank account at the end of the day. Reason being sales, and my cost of sales was 10,000. Okay. Right, next transaction took place on the 28th. Purchased merchandise from Snow Traders and pay by check 1013, and the amount was 9,600. Let's go and put that into my cash payment journal. So check counterfoil 013. It took place on the 28th. Who did we purchase this from? From Snow Traders. The amount that we paid them was 9,600, and the reason being trading stock. Okay, next transaction, the last one. Pay the secretary's salary, K Botha, by check 014 and an amount of 6,200. So we are paying money. Let's go and put that into my cash payment journal. Check counterfoil 014. This took place on the 30th. Who are we paying? K Botha. And the amount was 6,200. Reason being salaries. They did not provide a column for that. Therefore sundry accounts. And it will go to the salaries account. Alright, so we are done with all of the transactions. We recorded it into our journals the way we should. They did give us an extra line, so I'm just going to quickly take that out. Right, so let's quickly total. I got 366,300. We never total the analysis of receipts column, and the reason being this is not an account. We are only analyzing what we are receiving, and also shortcut, whenever it's a direct deposit, it will be empty. Okay. Sales, if you were to total that, 43,500, and cost of sales, I got 29,000 on the dot. 29,000. Right, let's quickly do our cash payment journal. It's an extra line, let's quickly take that out, just for the sake of being neat. Alright, if you total your bank, you should get a total of 249,944. Trading stock 39,400. Wages 4,200. Stationery 1,024 rand. And then your sundry accounts 205,320 rand. Right, so these four together, if you add them up, should equal your bank account. Bank account, you are paying money. This will form part of your credit. Remember, bank is being credited because it's decreasing, it's an asset. This will be a debit, 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 and all of these ones will be debits as well. Okay. Cash receipts journal, my bank will be debited because it's increasing with that amount. The reason being, sales, you receive money for sales, and I forgot to total my sundry accounts above. Okay, this amount will be 322,800 rand. Okay, so you can add your sales and your sundry accounts together. That will equal your bank. You can never use the cost of sales column. The reason being, this is an expense. Okay, and it will always accompany sales. Reason being, it's easy to see your profit, and you need to calculate your cost of sales each time you have a sale. Okay, we're done with the journals. Next, we are going to do the general ledger of SA traders. So I will show you where I get all of the amounts. Very easy. Capital, let's go and see where we had a capital transaction. Cash received journal, you can only receive capital, you can't pay capital. If you pay capital, then by definition it should be drawings. Remember, capital is when you receive money from the owner, drawings is when you pay money to the owner for personal use. Okay, so capital 320,000 rand on the 1st. Let's go and fill that in. Capital is an owner's equity account, and it will be minus plus. Okay, let's just fill that in a bit better. Minus plus is the signs for capital. The amount we received was 320,000 rand. Just going to put bold off. Where did I get this information from? Cash received journal. In this case, number 1, there's no reason for the 1. Normally it's according to the month. June should be 6, but in this case it's 1. There's no reason for it. Okay, your details will be back. In other words, capital is being credited. If I want to find my debit, I need to go and have a look in the bank account. I will show you when I'm done with bank. This took place on the 1st of 2006 at June. Right, okay, then drawings. Let's go and find drawings. Remember, drawings is only money that we can pay. Here's that transaction. It took place on the 17th, and we need to put it in our general ledger accordingly. Drawings is also an owner's equity account, but remember the sign for drawings is plus minus, and the reason for that is it will have a negative influence on my owner's equity. Capital will increase my owner's equity, drawings will decrease my owner's equity. Same as with income and expenses. Income will increase my owner's equity, expenses will decrease my owner's equity. That's why income's signs is the same and expenses signs are the same as drawings as well. Right, drawings, 200 Rand. Okay, where did I get this information from? CPJ1. My details will be bank. In other words, drawings is being debited. If I want to go and find my credit, I need to go and have a look in my bank account. This took place on the 17th, 2006 and June. So I'm going to put ball off. It seems I need to do this for everyone or all of the accounts. Right, next one, land and buildings. Remember, we can only buy land and buildings. Well, in this activity, I remember only purchasing land and buildings. Land and buildings took place on the 3rd. Let's go and account for it, 180,000 Rand. Land and buildings is classified as an asset, and the signs for assets is plus, minus. Will increase in my debit side and decrease in my credit side. Right, 180,000 Rand. Where did I get this information from? CPJ number 1. Details will be bank. Land is being debited. If I want to find my credit, you'll go and find it in my bank account. This took place on the 3rd, 2006 and June. There we go. Right, next one, equipment. Remember, we purchase computers, which will go to my equipment account. 12,800. It took place on the 6th. Remember, on the same day, that's why it's empty there. Okay, let's go and account for that. Equipment is also an asset. Signs will be plus and a minus. So it will increase in my debit side with 12,800. Where did I get this information from? My CPJ1. My details will be bank. Equipment is being debited. I will find my credit in my bank account. It took place on the 6th, 2006 and June. Right, next one, trading stock. Trading stock is a bigger one. Reason for that is because we are selling trading stock to the value of 29,000 Rand, and we bought trading stock to the value of 39,400. Okay, both of these are a total of a column. Therefore, we will use the very last day of the month, the 30th of June, to include all of the transactions that took place during the month, all of these transactions. Okay, same year, total of a column. It is to include all of the transactions that took place during the month on these dates. Let's go and account for that one. Trading stock is also an asset, therefore it will be plus and a minus. It will increase this side. We will buy more. It will go to the debit side. Remember, 39,400 Rand. I got this information from my CPJ1. Details will be bank. Trading stock is being debited. Where will I find my credit? In my bank account. This took place on the 30th. Remember, last day of the month, because it's a total of a column. 2006 and June. Okay, so I bought more trading stock, and to make money I need to sell trading stock. Right, so the total of my cost of sales column in my cash received journal was 29,000 on the dot. Where did I get this information? Cash received journal number 1. Details will be cost of sales. Trading stock is being credited. Where will I find my debit? In my cost of sales column. Okay. Total of a column, therefore last day of the month, 2006 and June. Right, next one will be bank. Almost work exactly the same as trading stock. Here I received 366,300 Rand and I paid 249,944. Let's go and fill that in. Let me just put bold off from the beginning. Okay, bank is an asset. The signs will be plus, minus. I received 366,300 Rand. 366,300. Where did I get this information? Cash received, journal number 1. Details will be total receipts. Okay, so the reason for this is I received 366,300 Rand. The reason that for which I received all of this money is for sales, for capital, and for rent income. And to make it as simple as possible, I don't have enough space to put all of those accounts in here. Therefore, I just say total receipts. Okay, total of a column took place on the 30th, 2006, June. Right. Then I paid some money. Remember the total of the bank account in my cash payment journal? That was 249,944. Where did I get that information from? CPJ number 1. Details will be total payments. This took place on the 30th. Remember to include all the transactions that occur throughout the month. Right, so you are allowed to use sundry accounts here and sundry accounts here, or total payments, total receipts, the other way around, but you are allowed to use sundry accounts as well. Right, that's it for bank. I'll come back to the balancing just now. Next one will be cash float. Let's go and have a look at cash float. Yes, that transaction cash float. We put money into our cash float, 500 Rand. That transaction took place on the 7th. Cash float is also an asset account. Technically, it works exactly the same as bank, except you don't have journals for cash float, or you will later on. Hey, what did I do now? Just quickly fix that. Undo. Right, it increased with 500 Rand. Where did I get this information from? CPJ1. Details will be bank. Cash flow will be debited. I will find my credit in the bank account. But I took money out of my bank account and I put it in the cash float. This took place on the 7th. Details will be 2006 and in June. Just quickly put bold off. Right, up next is our nominal account section. Move that to our next page. First of all, sales. Let's go and have a look at our total sales. Cash received journal, 43,500. Total of a column. Remember, sales is an income and the signs for an income will be minus, plus. And the total of sales was 43,500. Where did I get this from? Cash received journal number 1. My details will be bank. Took place on the 30th. Include all of the transactions 2006 and June. Right. So sales has been credited. If I want to find my debit, I'll find it in my bank account. Cost of sales. Cost of sales, remember that column was right next to my sales. Total 29,000 Rand. Remember I told you earlier in my trading stock. Okay, my trading stock account was being credited. Where will I find my debit? In my cost of sales column. Let me go and show you. Okay, 29,000 Rand. Where did I get the information from? Cash received journal 1. My details will be trading stock. Cost of sales is being debited. If I want to find my credit, I'll find it in my trading stock as I just showed you. Okay, remember it's a total of a column there for the 30th, 2006 and June. Very importantly, I forgot to tell you that this is a expense account. Expenses will be plus, minus. Okay, rent income, it's in the name, it's income. Remember the signs for income, it is minus, plus. Pause off from the beginning. Let's go and see where we receive rent income. It can only be in my cash received journal, so I'm going to go straight there. Rent income, okay, 2,800 Rand. It took place on the 15th. Alright, let's go and fill that in. 15,000. Where did I get this information? Cash received journal number 1 took place on the 30th. My details will be bank 2006 and June. Okay, so rent income is being credited. Where will I find my debit? In my bank account. Right, wages, total of a column. Wages is something you pay. Remember, you're a business, you can't receive wages. Total of my wages column, 4,200 Rand. It's the total I paid. Okay, let's go and fill that in. Remember, wages, before I forget again, it's an expense, and expenses is plus, minus. Expenses will have a negative influence on your owner's equity, and income will have a positive. Okay, but the amount of wages was 4,200. Where did I get it? From my CPJ1. My details will be bank. Wages is being debited. Where will I find my credit? In my bank account. Took place on the 30th. Remember to total of a column, therefore I need to use the last half of the month to include all of the transactions that took place during the month. Next one, trading license, almost there. Trading license. Once again, this was something that I purchased or paid. Trading license 1,800. It took place on the 4th. Trading license is an expense, therefore it will be plus, minus. Once again, will have a negative influence on owner's equity. Please don't ever forget that. And the total for my trading license was 1,800 Rand. Where did I get that? The information from my CPJ1. Details will be bank. This took place, remember it's not a total of a column. I'm going to use the specific day, which was the 4th, 2006 and June. Right, next one, advertising. Okay, we bought advertising to the value of 2,300 Rand from the Oggendblad on the 10th. Let's go fill that into my advertising general ledger account. Remember, advertising is an expense account, therefore it will be plus minus. The total of that was, I already forgot, let me just have a look again. Advertising 2,300 Rand. I got the information from my CPJ1. Details will be bank. It took place on the 10th, 2006 and June. Okay. Next one will be telephone. Right, telephone 1,520 Rand. On the 23rd. Let's go and fill that in. Okay, telephone is also an expense account, so therefore plus minus. Remember what I told you earlier, this is the telephone bill, it's not the actual phone. The actual phone will be an asset account, the bill is an expense account. Remember the amount was 1,520. Where did I get it from? From my CPJ1. Details was bank. It took place, that specific transaction, on the 23rd. Remember, I need to use the specific day because it is not a total of a column. Okay, June. Next one, salaries. Salaries. Okay, CPJ took place on the very last of the month and the amount was 6,200 Rand. Salaries is also an expense account. The signs will be plus, minus, negative influence on owner's equity. Remember, what did I do now? That's fine. Right, so it's an expense account. Let me just put bold off. The amount was 6,200 Rand. I got the information in my CPJ1. My details will be bank. Salaries is being debited. Where will I find my credit? In my bank account. Remember, I'm using a specific day. It's the last day of the month just by accident. It's not a total of a column. There we go. And then our very last one, stationery. Then we're just quickly going to balance in total. Stationery, total of a column, 1,024 Rand. Because it's a total of a column, we need to use the very last day of the month. Okay. So stationery is an expense account, therefore plus, minus. Right, stationery. The amount of stationery was 1,024 Rand. Where did I get the information from? CPJ1. Details will be bank. It's a total of a column, therefore 30th, last of the month, 2006 and June. Okay. Let's quickly balance and then total. You would have noticed I first posted all of the accounts or transactions over to my general ledger. Now at the end I'm only going to balance. The reason I'm doing it that way, it's just a bit simpler. I notice a lot of the learners get confused because they are trying to do one account at a time. I first posted everything over, then I will balance. Okay, here's the balancing process. We need to decide what side's the largest amount. Capital, and my credit side's by far larger than my debit side. This side is 0. Okay, so therefore, what do I need in this side to make the two sides equal? I need 320,000 Rand. What did I do now? Calculation. What does calculation start with? CD. Details will be balance. Remember, this is not a transaction, it's only a calculation of the difference between the two sides. Therefore, my details can't be another account's name, it needs to be balance. I'll always do this at the last day of the month, 2006 June. Okay. Right, after calculating the difference between the debit and credit side, let's total both sides, and effectively what we are doing now, we are showing that the debit side equals the total of my credit side and that we've done our calculation correctly. Therefore, my new opening balance will be 320,000 Rand, okay, on the 1st of the new month, which will be July 2006. I'm not writing the year again since we're in the same year still. Remember, my details must be balanced. Reason for this is it's not a transaction, it's just a reminder of my opening balance on the 1st of July. Right, all of the balance sheet accounts will work the same. I'm quickly going to do them. Okay, drawings. Which side's the larger side? Debit side. Therefore, how much do I need in my smaller side to make the two sides equal? 200 Rand. This is a calculation, therefore my details will be carried down. Okay, so carried down, my details will be balance, and this will be the last day of the month. That's the day which you do your calculation. Once again, to include all of the transactions during the month. Total the two sides to see that you have done it correctly. My new opening balance will be 200. Remember, opening balance is always brought down. Okay, details will be balance, first day of the new month, which will be July. I see I've forgotten my capital account to fill in my opening balance folio, brought down. Okay, land and building. I can immediately see I need 180,000 in my credit side to make the two sides equal. Was the calculation carried down? Details will be balance. When? Last of the month, 2006 and June. Okay, so I will total the two sides to confirm that I've done it correctly. Two sides are equal, therefore I've done it correctly. New opening balance will be 180,000 Rand. Opening balance value is always brought down. Details will be balance since it's not a transaction. First day of the new month, which is July. Okay, equipment. I can see I need 12,800 in my smaller side to make the two sides equal. It was a calculation, therefore carried down. Details will be balance. Took place on the last of the month to include all the transactions that took place during the month, June. Okay, total the two sides to see that you've done it correctly, or to confirm that you've done it correctly. 12,800, two sides are equal, therefore I've done it correctly. My new opening balance will be 12,800 Rands. Opening balance failure will be brought down. Details will be balanced. Reason for this is it's just a reminder of my new opening balance. It's not a transaction. Right, trading stock. I can see that my debit side is way bigger than my credit side, therefore I need a certain amount to make the two sides equal. I can see that I need 10,400 Rand for my trading stock. Let's just quickly confirm that I've done it right. Trading stock 10,400 Rand. That was a calculation, carried it down. Details will be balance. I did this at the last of the month. Remember, I already filled it in, so I'm not going to fill it in again. Let's total the two sides to confirm that I've done it correctly. 39,400 my debit side. If I total my credit side, I will also get 39,400. My new opening balance will be 10,400 Rand. Opening balance value is always brought down. Details will be balance. First day of the new month, July. Okay, bank, exactly the same now. So bank, I can see that my debit side is way larger than my credit side. I need a specific amount here to balance the two sides. Easy way to calculate this: 366,300 minus 249,944 should equal 116,356. That was a calculation. Calculation starts with a C. Details will be balance. It's not a transaction, just a reminder of the difference between the two sides. I'm going to fill in the exact same date again. Total the two sides to confirm that we've done it correctly. Therefore, two sides are equal. We've done it correctly. My new opening balance for bank will be 116,356 Rand. It's an opening balance, therefore my failure will be brought down. Details will be balance. On the very first day of July. Right. Cash float. My debit side's larger than my credit side with 500. That was the calculation. Carry down, details will be balance. Okay, it took place last of the month 2006 and June. Sorry, laptop is flat. Let me just plug it in. So, to confirm that the two sides are equal, let's total them. 500, 500, my new opening balance will be 500. Opening balance, folio is always brought down. Details will be balance. And my new opening balance date will be 1st of July, 1st of the new month. Okay, we are done with the balance accounts section. Let's do the nominal account section. Now there's some things that will be a bit different here. First of all, a shortcut: if one side are empty in your nominal account section, you are allowed to only total. Okay, 43,500, you are done. Okay, cost of sales, yes, my one side are empty, 29,000, done. Rent income, my one side are empty, therefore rent income, we are done. Wages, one side are empty, done. I'm going to do the same for all of them since my one side are empty. Right, all of them are done. Now they did ask us to fill in the trial balance as well. This is just a revision for you from last year, grade 8 work. I'm quickly going to fill it in for you and show you where I got all of the information. First of all, my balance account section consists of my assets, owner's equity and liabilities. So let's start. First of all, capital. I'm just going to bold that, unbold this, so you can see the difference between what is headings and what I'm filling in. Right, so capital, let's go back to my capital account. My capital account, remember, my balance is 320,000 Rand. Remember something quickly. Your balance on the 1st of July will be the same as on the 30th of June, the previous day, at the end of the month. Your closing balance of 1 month will be your opening balance of the next month. Therefore, I can use 320,000 Rand, which is an opening balance for July, as a closing balance for June, since they will be exactly the same. Remember, here's my closing balance. Now, what side is my new opening balance? It is in the credit side for capital. Let's go and fill that in. Capital, credit side, 320,000 Rand. You are done with capital. This was my balance sheet account section B1. Where did I get the B1? It was given to me right here. B1. Okay, drawings will be B2, balance of 200 Rand in the debit side. Let's go and fill that in. Drawings, remember this was B2 and that amount was 200 Rand in my debit side. Okay, next one, let's go and have a look. Where's B3? Land and buildings. Debit balance of 180,000 Rand. Let's go and fill that in. Land and buildings folio was B3. Debit balance of 180,000 Rand. Okay, B4. Equipment, balance or debit balance of 12,800. Okay, so debit balance 12,800 Rand was B4, and it was equipment. equipment. Right, B5. B5 116,356 my bank, and cash float will be B6 500. I'm going to fill in both of them. Both of them have debit balances. Remember, it's assets. Right, so bank was 116,356 was B5, and the account is bank. Next one was cash float. No, typo. Cash float was B6, and the amount was R500. Seems that I missed something somewhere. Let me just quickly have a look. I missed trading stock. My bad. Okay. Trading stock. Oh, I see. Here's a mistake. This should be B6 and this should be B7. Okay. Right, so trading stock has a debit balance of 10,400 and that should be B5. So I'm just going to insert a line here. Trading stock, that should be B5. And trading stock's balance was a debit balance of 10,400. Bank will then be B6 and cash float will be B7. I'm just going to take this line out since we want too much. Right, nominal account section. Okay, so this is income and expenses. My first income will be sales with a credit balance of 43,500 Rand. So sales, credit balance of 43,000 Rand, 43,500 Rand. That will be N1. Okay, N2, cost of sales. Remember, they always go together. Difference between the two will be your profit. Now that you bought trading stock for 29,000 Rand and you sold it for 43,500. Okay, cost of sales, N2. Cost of sales, N2, with a debit balance of 29,000 Rand on the dot. N3, rent income, 15,000 Rand, credit side. 15,000 Rand. N3, rent income. Right, N4, wages, with a debit balance of 4,200 Rand. Let's fill that in first, 4,200 Rand. Nominal account section number 4, wages. Okay, N5, trading license with a debit balance of 1,800 Rand. N5, trading license. Right, let's go and find N6, advertising with a debit balance of 2,300. N6, advertising. Right, N7, telephone with a debit balance of 1,520. 1,520. N7, telephone. Remember, just the bill, it's an expense. Telephone. N8, salaries with a debit balance of 6,200. 6,200. N8, salaries. Oh, typo, sorry. Right, so last one, N9, stationery 1024 rand. That was N9. Right, done with the trial balance. Well, almost. Remember accounting 101, rule number 1, every debit has a credit, and because of that my debit side should equal my credit side. Okay, so if you total your debit side, you should get a total of 366,300. And if you total your credit side, you should also get a total of 366,300 rand. Right. So if these two are equal, you have done your trial balance correctly and you are done. If there's a difference, you made a mistake somewhere and you need to go back. Hope this was very helpful. Have a good day.